Alright, are we live now? Oh, fucking finally. Sorry about that. I was having a little bit of microphone problems. So, we're back here at Cainhurst, and this is probably not going to go well because I have been playing, like, hell, a lot of people in the community have been playing. I've been playing the Cinders mod for DS3. And anybody who plays these games knows that switching from one control scheme to the other mid-play is bad. It's a bad decision. So I'm gonna try and make this work. Gotta remember that triangle is heal and not square. And we'll just get to it. Today we're going to be doing some optional stuff. So first off, we're going to start with Cainhurst. Cainhurst is not the best. Mainly you got these big jumping flea women. A lot of big items out there, but not really a lot of important stuff. Kind of just little bits here and there. And I hate these flea women. Oh, wow, yeah, sorry, like I said, I've been playing Dark Souls, and the healing is just so much different, and I'm used to my 4 Estus flask right now. This little bullshit of nothing heal sucks. So, if absolutely nothing else, prepare for this level of bitching as I go through a somewhat hard area and forget what button does what. I think that's enough for out here. We're gonna go out and check the actual area. This wonderful area that I'm sure was a what is it called? A tech demo area. I'm gonna say the word area a lot. I just realized that. I'm sure this was a place in which they decided to run a lot of the tests and say like, oh, this is what the feel of the game is going to be. And this is where a lot of people will point out the whole link between like this game and the similarities between this game and like Castlevania. The writer polish. Polish. Clear right now. Let's go to the writer polish. Weapon wielded by the Knights of Cainhurst combines an elegant knight's sword with a peculiar firearm wielded by the Cainhurst Order. The old nobles, longtime imbibers of blood, are no strangers to the sanguine plague, and the disposal of beasts was a discreet task left to their servants, or knights, as they were called for the sake of appearance. So, you got this giant castle, Cainhurst, which does have a problem with the blood, but it is a different type of problem. So once again, to any, I said it before, but to anyone who tries to act like, oh, this is not basically what we're going to get instead of Castlevania. And no, I'm not saying this is like a canon replacement for Castlevania. Obviously, it's not. But I mean, like, look at where I'm at. I'm in a friggin' castle fighting weird, like, baghead servants and ghosts. I just got done fighting a bunch of, like, werewolves and shit. You can start the game with something similar to a whip. Like, this is... I'm not gonna say this is what Castlevania should have become, because Castlevania is a different thing. Like, it straight up is. It is a different beast altogether. But that being said, it wouldn't have been bad if this is what Castlevania became. Like, I'd have been alright. Redesign your character, like, actually make the hunter be a real character. I'm sure people would have been less pissy about getting this than they were about getting Lords of Shadow 2. Chunks. Oh my god, the biggest thing I'm going to have to get used to is that there is no block. You don't really need it for this game, but I'm just used to having it. Okay, it's been about... what? Week and a half, maybe, since I played this? And through the majority of the time, I've pretty much just been playing the Cinders mod. So this is a great room. This is once again, it's a very, like, very ominous, very dinner setting. A lot of weird statues all bundled together. And the second you go to pick up this item, lighting changed. There's ghosts everywhere. It's a good little trap room. Oh, also, for anybody who doesn't know, these ghosts aren't all that hard to fight, but they do have a lot of health, and they have a lot of weird defense, but they're super weak against blunt, which for some reason this weapon does, even though there's no blunt edges on it. I guess the sheath that I'm hitting them with is supposed to be blunt. We're looking for the noble dress. A finely tailored Bordeaux dress worn by nobles of the old bloodline that traces back to the forsaken Castle Cainhurst. So that's interesting because of the only other character we see wearing it. Which, I believe... yeah, Ariana, the friendly prostitute that we found back in Yharnam, that we helped out and gave her a place to go during the hunt. She is wearing this dress, which means that it is possible that she is a descendant from Cainhurst nobles. That she is a direct descendant of Cainhurst nobles. That... oh, yeah, also terribly hidden. Also, yeah, you're fighting gargoyles now and shit, which there's just no real explanation for. You're just like, oh, yeah, you get gargoyles. Like, why wouldn't you get gargoyles? You're in a big creepy castle. You're not gonna fight gargoyles? Chunks. As in, once again, with the implied leveling that you're supposed to be doing, there's no indication of like what strength level you're supposed to be at when you come to certain areas in a Souls From Software game, but you can always tell which, like, what level your weapon is supposed to be at based off of the upgrade materials that enemies and item drops have. So, like, the enemies are dropping all twin bloodstones. There's a good place to come farm. Not really, because there's not a ton of these guys, but it's a decent place to farm. But the fact that most of the item drops have been, not item drops, but the discoverable items have been chunks, means that you should probably have a +9 weapon. That being said, rocking a +9 weapon. I do have, if you recall from the last one, we did get the Blood Rock. That gets you a +10 as the highest you can go in this game, but we're not going to use it yet. Oh. There we go. Sorry, I tried to use square to heal again. That's why I chucked a rock at him. Alright. Head over here to get one of the better sets in the game. Just as far as, I mean, it's not better as in, like, stats or anything. Just in my opinion, I really like the Executioner set. Get rid of, it just looks really freaking cool, really, like, holy knight kind of garb. It's great. However, that is not what we're going to be rocking. Actually, you might leave the... I love the gauntlets it comes with. Like, those things are freaking awesome. Like, big, thick leather wraps with little bits of metal to protect you. A real ornate kind of deal. Yeah. We'll go with that. Be a little mishmash of everything. Vile Blood Register. Register of all known Vile Bloods. It's an online use only item. It just has like the... It's basically the leaderboard for the Vile Bloods Covenant. Also, there's our lantern. We just did a big circle. Well, we did a that way circle. And made it around. That's your first shortcut of this area. Not gonna be like your only main shortcut, really. Always send die, which, I mean, let's face it, I'm gonna die at some point. Alright, so I now have this brand on the back of my neck. Which means that all these ladies are into me now. Discuss that in a sec. Heal up. God awful heal that I forgot about. Okay. I'm brand free. for the moment. I'll get it again, don't worry. Oop. Again. Alright, so... Alright, I can breathe for a second. What's happening was that guy on the stairs right here was using his cane as a blowgun to shoot a dart at me. And that dart was tagging me with a brand that was making these ladies go crazy. And said brand, until it went away, would cause all of them to rush toward me. And we get the Evelyn. Let's look at the Evelyn. I don't have enough blood tinge to use it, but that's fine. I don't like using it anyway. Special pistol used by Cainhurst Knights. The Evelyn uses quicksilver bullets just as any workshop firearm, but the Cainhurst variant relies more on blood tinge. Lovingly named after a woman and graced with an intricate design, Evelyns were adored by Cainhurst Knights. And that's it. What could I not pick up? Oh, quicksilver bullets. Alright then. Nothing down there. See? Nada. Ah, Jesus. Making this even worse is the fact that not only have I been playing a different From Software game, but also I've been playing a friggin' mage build. So my controls are all fucked. Should be like old man sidestepping me. Take some more blood vials. Like, I will say the fucking balance in this game of like, oh yeah, your blood vials don't heal you nearly as much as a Estus flask would, but you can just find more of them on the level. So like, you won't feel bad about popping a couple of them because these guys are pretty regularly dropping 2 at a time. Okay, getting real tired of this guy. There we go. And just like that, blood vials are full again. I don't necessarily know that I'd say that I'd prefer this more chunks. Like over, let's see, fatty. Nope. You must accept fatty. There we go. Yeah, it's usually a message that's going to be right there. Something, something fatty. I don't know if I prefer this over the Estus Flash system. I feel that the Estus Flask system worked a little better. Just based off of like level designing. So for instance, you could design a level to be deadly enough to require a certain amount of Estus flasks and still keep it fair. Whereas this game kind of leaves it up to where it's like, oh yeah, you can just straight up be you can run every single level as though you have 20 to 24 heals. But the downside being that not all of the heals are great. They only heal you a percentage, so I kind of feel like if it was better balanced, it would work a little better. But I mean, that's not to say anything negative about it, really. Like, the game is still amazing. So this is a particularly bad variant, which I enjoy the fact that they decided to switch it up a little bit. So you see that ghost lady and the one I just killed are carrying their heads. So what I'll do is they will scream, and that will put a binding spell on you. And this works in tandem with that guy. So that guy hits you with the dart that makes everyone run towards you, including the binding lady. If you're in that mashing, that's because literally you just mash to get out of binding things faster. It used to work in the Souls games. I don't know that it works in this one, but I think it's very much like holding down B on like Pokemon, where it's like, oh, you just believe it works and it makes it work. No, going past all that. Whoop. So yeah, basically the dude would tag you, making all of the ghosts come towards you. The binder would hit you, and then like it would all go tits up from that point. Knight's Garb. Let's check that out. Finest leather, gold work on red leather, intricate gold work. Attire of the Knights of Cainhurst, a regal piece graced by intricate goldwork. The Cainhurst way is a mix of nostalgia and bombast. They take great pride even in the blood-stained corpses of beasts that they leave behind, confident that they will stand as examples of decadent art. So these guys are full of themselves, essentially. Not that I should, not that we should act as though that's a shocker. I mean, guys living in this big opulent castle and everything like that. So that whole room is just to get the night set. But you mean the night set is, it's good looking. So we crack that. And now our next shortcut has been made. So now we would take the elevator, just run straight forward and hit this. And I say that because you're probably going to see it a couple times. Ooh, scan the environment. There's a whole lot of nothing. Warm blood gemstone. And we run all the way down here, and which I kind of feel is a little bit of a wasted opportunity, really? Because you get this one thing up here, and granted, that one thing is good. But there's nothing else over here. There's not like an enemy hidden over here to get you. I don't know. It really feels like a waste. So you walk over here, you get the knight's wig, and ambush occur. Well. Alright. For some reason they just stopped. Ah, shit. Okay. Be done. Alright. So from this point on, we're going to drop, but I have a lot of blood echoes. So I'm going to go cash those in real quick. And then we will, for everybody who knows what's coming up, proceed the grind. I've talked to a lot of people about what's coming up next. And I mean, shouldn't really be hidden or anything. We're coming up to the boss. Like, this is a resoundingly short area. Like, for what it is, this area is so freaking short. Like, I mean, that's it. Like, we run up there and hit the boss, and that's the area. I'm gonna stream for what? 20 minutes? 30 minutes? I don't really know. I don't have a timer. But yeah. It once again leads me to think that this is kind of just a playtesting area. Like, they used this area to... Like, they had a beta version of this, and they used it to figure out a lot of the controls and a lot of everything. And then went on to create later parts of the game. And some design elements got changed later on. But they really liked this area, so they just kept it. This is all just me speculating. I don't know. I'm sure you can find some interview or something like that where they might talk about it. But it does seem extremely weird that Cainhurst is the only area that is like this. Where it's completely separated from everything else. It is ridiculously short. And it is an entirely different environment. It's the snow level. It also seems to take place in weird time. Like, the moon is out again. It's the middle of the night. The moon is bright as shit. It's snowing. You get weird ghost horses that take you where you're going. Like, it's a very, very weird fucking level.
Farewell, good may you.
And I only need, like, what, 2,000 more? I gotta have enough for that. What we got? Brings the gold blood. That's enough.
Welcome. What is it? Very well.
Oh, I'll hit that 40 strength eventually. Let's see. Repair. Whoop. This one, yep. Forsaken Castle Cainhurst. Yeah, I just really feel like this area was not planned with the rest of the game. And then in order to, like, tie it in, they added Alfred, who just exists in the regular world and keeps talking about Cainhurst and the Vile Bloods and all this stuff. Especially because you get here via an optional area. So you get to an optional area, through an optional area. And then when you get there, like when you get all the way through with it, it doesn't have that much bearing on the rest of the story. It's just, this area kind of just exists. Like, I could see if, say, they wanted to make this area more important by adding one of the thirds of the umbilical cord here. but there's nothing. There is no reason to come here other than just for completion's sake. And of course, a lot of people don't like the fact that you have to take mandatory damage to get here. Especially because this is a boss run. A boss run that you're probably going to see several times. Because, I've said it before, I will say it again. I am not good at fighting Martyr Ligarius. I have talked to a couple people about this, and Martyr Ligarius seems to be one of those bosses that it's just like... Like, some people ace it on the first try, and good for those people, because I am not one of them. This is one of the few times when gun is your friend in a boss fight. I mean, you can... Gun can be your friend in a lot of boss fights. So yeah, like in the areas that we've been running through, who is this snowy scytheman with a crown? Like, what is this? This is... I mean, I know who it is. You'll see a name drop in just a hot second. But, like... This doesn't seem to fit with anything else. And also, if you're gonna sit there and tell me that this guy, who is a mummy, like let's call him what the hell he is. This man is a mummy. This guy is the guy Alfred has been searching for I don't know, a couple weeks maybe. I don't know. Phase 2. Oh, my gun timing is non-existent right now. That would be extremely happy. Destroy that as fast as possible. Alright, running out of bullets. And holy shit, I just beat Ligarius in the first shot. I have never done that. I am probably over leveled. I don't care. I do not give a shit. Light this lamp. Come all the way back here. Thanks. Yeah, I have never, ever fucking beaten Ligarius in one shot. I am legitimately fucking shocked that after playing Cinders for the better part of a week that I was able to do that. Blame it on me being overleveled. I don't really care. That's fine. I'll take it. Alright, so he gave us a Crown of Illusion. One of the precious secrets of Cainhurst, the old king's crown is said to reveal illusions and expose a mirage that hides a secret. And so Ligarius donned the crown of his own volition, determined to prevent a single soul from stumbling upon the vile secret. What visions did he see, sitting serenely upon his new throne? Right. Alright, so we put on this crown. And then goofy shit. Dude, I was playing friggin' Cinders. I one-shotted every boss until I got to Champion Gundyr. Granted, no lie, in that shit, I'm overpowered as hell, though. So I don't even, like... Also, you get the summonable Solaire thing, which is just fun. But I try not to use them on every boss. So yeah, there's another chunk of Cainhurst. And then, even though you're supposed to have to wear this to even be able to see this shit, you can instantly take it off and it's just there forever. So, let's unpack this. Alfred has been looking for his master, Ligarius. Master Ligarius. Alfred, wandering around saying like, oh, we're executioners. We hunt the vile, Did I even read the executioner garb? I did not. Attire worn by the band of executioners commanded by the martyr Ligarius later became the basis for all church attire with its heavy draping of holy shawl. As the great Ligarius once said, acts of goodness are not always wise and acts of evil are not always foolish, but regardless, we shall always strive to be good. So, Ligarius ventures off to find the find the vile bloods at Cainhurst Castle. And gets here, finds this shit.
Visitor.
Also, we just got insight from walking in this room.
But here lieth our throne. Kneel afore us, or get thee gone.
And decides to say, no, I'm not gonna kill. Oh yeah, no lie. I'm not gonna kill this lady. But instead, I'm just gonna sit out here forever and hide her. And it seemed to be working. Like, Yharnam's got its own fucking problem, but you don't have vile bloods everywhere, whatever the hell vile bloods are. You can say, like, in a world of werewolves and ghosts, these bitches are vampires, but there's one. It's just her.
Visitor.
We'll kneel for her.
Moon-scented hunter. I am Annalise, Queen of Castle Cainhurst. Ruler of the vile bloods, and sworn enemy of the church.
So you don't like the church.
Yet our people are murdered, and we are prisoner to this wretched mask. What is it thou art in search of?
So, that's a weird question. What are you looking for? Why are you here? Now, note, she is not aggressive. She's an enemy to the church. She says, yet our people are murdered. So, she's using the royal we. She's saying, my people are murdered. She's the last one. And she's bound in an iron mask. So, she's done. She's just gonna sit here forever. And she asks, what are you here for? And your options are swear oath to the vile bloods or leave.
Well, well. An odd hunter thou art indeed. We've tired of these piteous nights. Share in our plight, and take oath against the Church. If thou wouldst this path walk, I prithee, partake of my rotted blood.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Very well. Drink deep of our the spreading corruption burn. Now, thou art too a vile blood. We two, the very last on this earth. We await for the...
I don't have any blood dregs. So, let's take a peek at some stuff. Sorry. We got the Cainhurst badge. Badge of Royal Guards of Cainhurst, loyal guardians of the Vile Blood Queen Annalise. The Vile Bloods are hunters of blood and hunt prey as they search for blood dregs. The hunter who joins them is faced with a decision to merely borrow their strength or to become one of them, heart and soul. So the hunters of blood. You can also get a blood vial from her. But I don't have that. That's something else. Oh, corruption. Pledgers to this oath are Cainhurst Vilebloods, hunters of blood who find dregs for their queen in cold blood, particularly in that of hunters. Yet the corrupt are heretics in the eyes of the church, and thus subject to the wrath of the executioners. So executioners are a band are part of the healing church that hunt down vile bloods. Vile bloods, it says right there, they kill hunters. So the church views the hunters as the things that are aiding them in stopping the beast scourge, and the vile bloods kill hunters in search for blood dregs. That is all just stupid cyclical bullshit, because we know anyone who played this game in the end or knows where it all started and how it all goes and yada yada yada. There's no end to this per se. It's people sniffing their own farts and blowing their own asses. But whatever. We need this. Ah, shit. Wrong buttons. Unopened summons. Calling someone to Cainhurst. An old sealed summons. Like the first of its kind, it is an invitation to Cainhurst, but for whom it is not known, as it lacks an address. So, we have another lamp. Let's go back. We only know of one person in the whole of the game that is all about Cainhurst, or namely and about finding Cainhurst. So, let's go find him. We need... yeah, cathedral will work. Last we saw Alfred, he was chilling by the entrance to the forest. So we're going to go run through here real quick. Make our way downtown. Let's see what we can do. Oh, Load screens. There we go. Oh. Oh. I didn't realize we were this far. Okay. Yeah. Ariana's gone. We're gonna take care of something as well. Ariana, where you at, girl? So you can go the whole game and not do this. More insights. Here's Ariana, very, very upset. And here's this thing. Now, the eagle-eyed viewer, if you remember when I went to the upper cathedral ward, there were a lot of these things, but they were bigger. So, what's...
It can't be. This is a nightmare.
What happened? Oh, lady crying and then laughing. That's a good start. And she will just continue to laugh. So, let's see. Even if you just hit the baby, she dies too. What you got? Ariana's shoes. Right underneath, the noble dress. Once again, that is Ariana's dress. She was worn by Ariana, woman of the night in the cathedral ward. Innocent and cute, in contrast with its owner. So, she was a prostitute, but she liked her little cute shoes. 1/3 umbilical cord. Great relic, known as the cord of the eye. Every infant great one has its precursor to the umbilical cord. Provost Willem sought the cord in order to elevate his being and thoughts to those of a great one by lining his brain with eyes, the only choice he knew if man were ever to match their greatness. Every great one loses its child and then yearns for a surrogate, and Odin, the formless great one, is no different. To think it was corrupted blood that began this eldritch liaison. And third umbilical cord precipitated the encounter with the pale moon, which beckoned the hunters and conceived the hunter's dream. So. There's baby shit happening. Alright, back to what we were originally doing. I have to leave that, really fucked up scene to go do some normal shit. The sky is so pretty right now. And that dude is just chilling. So, we just run up here, run through this little, I don't know, I was gonna call it like a plaza, but it's also just graveyard. It's weird. I don't know if this is, like, if this architecture is based on anything. There we go. Give bullet. Thank bullet. So we come down here. It's a hater boy.
Oh, good to see you safe.
Back up a little bit from me.
Now, let's think up. Just tell me what piques you.
So, before we give him the summons, let's talk to him one more time. We're just going to take in all of his dialogue.
As you know, the Healing Church is the fountainhead of blood healing. Well, I'm a simple hunter, quite unfamiliar with the ins and outs of the institution. But I have heard that the holy medium of blood healing is venerated in the main cathedral, and that counselors of the old church reside in the high stratum of the cathedral ward. If you seek blood healing, and the church is willing, you should pay them a visit.
Okay. Let's look at that. Up in the Grand Cathedral, the only thing that was up there was one lady praying to a giant skull, and the lady turned into a giant beast named Vicar Amelia. Okay? A vicar is a leader in a church similar to that of, like, say, like a deacon. So, this lady praying to a big skull of a beast beasts out to shit. And he says that the upper members of the church are in the upper cathedral ward. We went to the upper cathedral ward. There were no people there. There were beasts. There were a bunch of those little baby squidgy things that, one of which slid out of Ariana. She gave birth to that, by the way. If it wasn't obvious, she gave birth to that. And then there were the celestial emissaries. The boss fight we had up there. Aliens. There were aliens up there. But there were no people. Okay. Let's talk about Bergenworth, shall we?
Bergenworth is an old place of learning.
Word.
And the Tomb of the Gods, carved out below Yharnam, should be familiar to every hunter. Well, once a group of young Bergenworth scholars discovered a holy medium deep within the tomb. This led to the founding of the Healing Church of blood healing. In this sense, everything sacred in Yharnam can be traced back to Bergenworth. But today, the college lies deep within a tangled wood, abandoned and decrepit. And furthermore, the Healing Church has declared Bergenworth forbidden ground. It's unclear how many of its scholars remain alive, but only they know the password that allows passage through the gate.
So, what he says is that Bergenworth went through some tombs, which we can assume are the Chalice dungeons. They're the only tombs we go through. They went through the tombs, and they found a medium of healing blood. So they found someone or something that could produce this healing blood. And thusly, the Healing Church was founded. And Bergenworth is responsible for that. But then, at some point, the church deemed that Bergenworth was no. Possibly because now, since everybody was relying on the Healing Church, maybe questions about where the healing blood came from started to arise. And maybe they didn't want the answer to that to get out. Because Bergenworth is a school, mind you. It's a place of study. So they're all like, oh yeah, we're going to learn everything about that. And the Healing Church is like, oh, why would we bother? It's here. We know it. It works. Why do we need to learn more about it? And it's just a difference between an institute for knowledge and an institute for faith. So Bergenworth becomes forbidden and gets abandoned. The only person that was like left there was Provost Willem. And when you get there, a character that most people just call the Bergenworth Hunter is there. Now, if you recall, the Bergenworth Hunter is wearing clothes of the choir, which is the upper echelon of the Healing Church, the people that reside up in the upper cathedral ward. And the only other person there is Provost Willem, behind a locked door. So had they dispatched a hunter to finally take care of Provost Willem, so that way the last person of the Healing Church would have been eliminated, the last person of Bergenworth would have been eliminated? Perhaps. I don't know. It's a lot of plot dump for a From Software game. So, finally, let us discuss the corrupted Vilebloods.
In his time, Master Logarius led his executioners into Cainhurst Castle to cleanse it of the Vilebloods. But all did not go well, and Master Logarius became a blessed anchor, guarding us from evil. Tragic, tragic times. That Master Logarius should be abandoned in the accursed domain of the Vilebloods. I must free him, so that he may be properly honored in martyrdom.
Okay. So he thinks that Master Logarius is dead, which, I mean, he is now. But he thinks that Logarius took a pilgrimage to Cainhurst to go and do it, and no one was allowed to follow him, so he thinks, like, oh, we abandoned him and he's dead up there because he never returned. We know that he went there, put on the Crown of Illusions, and just sat guard as Ice King forever. We also know that Annalise, Queen of the Vilebloods, isn't hostile. Okay. We only have one option left, so let's do it.
Aha! Is that the sigil of Cainhurst?
Word.
I've heard tell of Cainhurst nobles and their amusingly pompous invitations. Wonderful. I thank you profusely. I will depart immediately, but first, a token of my gratitude.
The Wheel Hunter Badge. And Church Bow.
Ah, I feel my master's hand at work. Praise the good blood, and let us cleanse these tarnished streets.
Yeah, I know the problem with that would be that the hunter is basically patrolling and the key is like right upstairs, but I don't know that, and it's also in a chest, which means that it hadn't been opened yet. I know the key isn't difficult to find, but maybe we got there very shortly after they got there. Look, for the majority of this, I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know. This is what I am speculating, because, you know, God knows that they don't give us all of the answers. I mean, it's the only real reason I can think of as to why the hell a choir hunter, a person that is very clearly, like, they're using a choir weapon, they're using choir garb, is there. Like, it's not definitive. Like, straight up, you're right. It is not definitive. This is all me speculating and pulling shit out of my ass. Like, I clearly don't know. Alright. So, we're going to go back to the workshop. We need to look at the Wheel Hunter Badge. And then we also need to look at what the Cainhurst Badge and the Wheel Hunter Badge allow us to buy. Because that's what the badges are for. So, first things first. How's it got the cosmic, we need to look at what this allows you to buy as well. Stumble upon Epiphany very suddenly and quite by accident. Here we stand, feet planted in the earth, but might the cosmos be very near us, only just above our heads. Martyr Logarius, Wheel Hunter Badge. Martyr Logarius led a band of executioners, and this badge was crafted at their dedicated workshop. The wheel symbolizes righteous destiny. Their workshop was a secretive enclave of mystical beliefs and heady fanaticism, which served as the backbone of the executioner's unique brand of justice. So, what does that give us? Anything in clothes? We can now get the Cainhurst armor. Let's read it. Silver helmet worn by the royal guards who protect Annalise, Queen of the Vilebloods, at Cainhurst Castle. This paper-thin silver armor is said to deflect blood of ill intent, and is what allows the royal guards to capture prey for their beloved queen, so that one day she may bear a child of blood. I love this mask. This mask is great. We also got all these from when we got the Hunter of Hunters. The first Hunter of Hunters came from a foreign land and gave a dead a virtuous native funeral ritual rather than impose a blasphemous Yharnam burial service upon them, with the hope that the former compatriots might be returned to the skies and find rest in their hunter's dream. What else? We got the Gold Ardeo. This is the helmet to the Executioner set, the odd helmet worn by the band of Executioners, commanded by the Martyr Ligarius. This conical gold helmet, symbol of the Executioners, represents luminosity, ambition, and an unflagging resolve to face impurity, staring it down with stern golden spirit. As the great Ligarius once said, acts of goodness are not always wise, and acts of evil are not always foolish, but regardless, we shall always strive to be good. So this becomes interesting, that the helmet to the band of Executioners, it leaves it to where you can't see. You're blind. Such grossly incandescent. Okay, what else did we get? We got the Blade of Mercy. I already bought that, but it is made of siderite. This is one of the only 2 weapons in the entire game made of siderite. We already had the Rider Polish. We got the ability to buy the Chikage, foreign-made weapon wielded by the royal guards who protect Annalise, Queen of the Vilebloods, at Cainhurst Castle. When the intricate rippled engraving that spans the Chikage's blade is imbrued with blood, the sword sings in scarlet hues. However, this rite eats away at the wielder's very essence. So when we fought against the quote-unquote Cainhurst Hunter, the hunter that was wearing a mix of the Hunter of Hunters garb and the Cainhurst garb, they were wielding this weapon. It's a katana. It's a cool katana. But when you trick it, it becomes way more powerful, and you two-hand it. But what it does is it gets way more power to it, but poisons you, essentially. It drains your health as long as it is activated. So that's what we basically use to beat the Cainhurst Hunter. Rifle spear, we can actually look at a little thing about this. We've had this for a while, but it is a prototype weapon serving as a simple firearm and spear possibly created from an imitation of a lost Cainhurst weapon. It is talking about the Rider Polish. The fact that I didn't show it off, but it is a rapier that tricks into having a gun in it. And finally, we get Logarius's Wheel, weapon wielded by Martyr Ligarius' band of executioners, used to slaughter the Vilebloods in Cainhurst, bathed in pools of their blood and forever steeped in their ire. Transformed to release the power of the wheel and manifest their lingering rage in a show of utter brilliance. This is a very similar weapon to the Chikage, in that you can wield it one-handed, but when you transform it, it is much more powerful at the cost of poisoning you, and you can even rev it up to increase its power. I'm probably gonna grab these two at some point. I might put some points into them. We'll see. I'll grab the Ligarius wheel for now, and I'll show that off real quick. A lot of times you'll see like blood stains. Like, let's see. Nope. 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 So he's using the Chikage and is going to basically die by, poison. So that's the downside of the Chikage. So if you trick this out, you pull it, you do that, and if you choose to fire it, you just sit there and rev the ever-living shit out of it. And you can watch the health drain. It also has the skull motif that Logarius was firing at us. Well, I should, and when you trick it, you get that. It's a cool weapon. It's a very cool weapon. I don't usually ever use it, because as cool as it is, I'm just not that good with it. So, now we need to head back to Logarius' seat and go visit Annalise. We can go to the Vile Blood Queen Chamber, but that's not going to net us what we want. Time to be done with Cainhurst forever. Maybe. We'll see. Oh god, I forgot transport here doesn't heal you. Why does it not heal you? I mean, I know why, but...
Master, look! I've done it! I've done it! I smashed and pounded and grounded this rotten siren into fleshy pink pulp. There, you filthy monstrosity! What good's your immortality now? Try stirring up trouble in this sorry state. All mangled and twisted, with every inside on the outside for all the world to see.
And there's that wheel.
You, is it? Look at this. Thanks to you, I've done it. Well, isn't it wonderful? Now Master can be canonized as a true martyr. I've done it. I have. I've done it.
Okay. So, a lot of people said that going in, when we first met Alfred, that, oh, Alfred's going to be our Solaire, because you can summon him to help you, you meet him, he's one of the first people that's, like, super nice to you. And for a moment, yeah, he legit kind of feels like he's going to be your Solaire. He kind of tells you about what's going on, tells you about some stuff that you wouldn't have access to the knowledge otherwise. And then you get here, and he just turns into Pyramid Head. And it's important to note, the Vile Bloods, especially Queen Annalise here, she can't die. She has reached some level with this blood nonsense to where she's a vampire now. She can't die. And we can prove that. Because... beep. It's still moving. Look at it. So, what the executioners have done, and you can see it on his wheel here, is the reason why this is the weapon of the executioners. It's all over him. They can't stab them to death. Burning them to death doesn't seem to do anything. So instead, they just grind them into a pulp. And it's like, oh yeah, you're alive, but... like, are you? Are you? And there's her mask. I didn't really get a look at it, but yeah. She's wearing an iron mask. Nothing in there now. And we just took some queenly flesh. Yum. And that's the end of the storyline for Alfred. He's content to just stand there looking at what he's done forever. I mean, he'll actually leave, but it's not technically the end. That's it, bet. I forgot. There is one final step. Because he won't. I was 100% wrong. He won't just stand there forever. So, we need to take a look at Queenly Flesh. The remains of Annalise, Vile Blood, Queen of Cainhurst. What remains of Annalise, Blood Queen of Cainhurst? This pinkish lump of flesh remains warm, as if cursed. All hail the undying Queen of Blood. So yeah, she can't die. Let's see, we need to go back to the cathedral one last time to see if we can wrap up Alfred's quest line. I believe, let's see, met him again, summons Marita. Yeah, step 5 of 5 for his quest. I mean, I guess you could say it's step 6 because you have to go to Cainhurst and complete Cainhurst first, but 5 or 6. Either way, it's the last step. So let's book it on down here. Yeah, give me bullets. There we go. So, it's a From Software game after all. He got the Crown of Illusions from Marta Ligarius and brought it back here, even though we have it in our inventory. Don't worry about that. It's not important. Don't think about it. And he came back and just offed himself. And nets you with Radiance. Radiance, you can see, is the symbol of the gold Ardeo. It's got the eye in there. Very, very eye of prominence here. Secret symbol left in the Carol rune, blah, 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 blah. Rune for Radiance adopted by the sworn executioners under Ligarius' command. The executioners despise the impure Vile Bloods, and no matter what the circumstances, would never cooperate with the bloodthirsty hunters who serve their undead queen, Annalise. That's it. That's the lore. Kind of reaffirms to you who the hell the executioners are. All right, well that was the first bit. Completely optional area done. That's it. I think there's only a couple of items left that I didn't go get, and they're not of any value. They're just like a numbing mist, probably some twin bloodstone shards, maybe another chunk or two. All stuff I can farm for. So now I have to take a somewhat longer trip to the boss. to the next, not to the boss, to the next optional thing we're going to be doing. No, not there. We need... No, Yharnam Chapel. I don't like that this is the path that we have to take, but this is the path that we have to take. It's long and it's annoying, and I hope I can knock it out in one again. But I probably can't! Because these are all bosses that I have just had problems with before. That being said, one of the bosses I had the most problems with in my past was Martyr Ligarius, and I did that in one go, so fuck it. Maybe we'll actually do alright. I hate that that lantern is busted now. I would love for that lantern to be working. Such a problem could have been fixed if I would have just done this. Running. Really? Stop. There we go. More twin bloodstone shards. Alright. So we are going to not have that there. Good lord, I need to get more fire paper. Yep, guess we forgot step 1 already. Okay then, apparently I am... Fuck me. That was easy. And this leads back into Old Yharnam. You take it right down there, go up the path, then go down, and that's where Bloodstarved Beast is. This shortcut means nothing. It is mostly useless. I think I got enough to level up another time.
Very with me.
Yeah.
Farewell.
2 more levels. Alright. God damn it. Hitting the wrong button. We got the Spark Hunter badge. Badge of Friends of Archibald, Church Workshop Eccentric. Badge crafted in secret by Archibald, the infamous eccentric of the healing church for his friends. Archibald was fascinated by the blue sparks that emanate from the hides of the dark beasts and dedicated his life to its artificial reproduction, in a style of inquiry that, incidentally, closely followed the methodology of Byrgenwerth. So I haven't tested it out yet, but in the Cinders mod for DS3, a lot of the Bloodborne weapons are included. Now, they don't trick, because that's just a mechanic that is built for DS3. It's not in any other Souls games. But Basically what it is it emanates yellow sparks because blue sparks don't exist in that game. So it has the lightning effect to it. And I'm curious as to whether or not that would be like a fun early weapon you get for, like, say, a faith build. Like a faith strength build. Because you get it in, what's the name of that place? It's like the second level of the game. Oh wow, I'm actually having trouble remembering what the fuck that level is called. It's after you beat Vort to the Boreal Valley. Looking it up real quick because it's bothering me. Undead Settlement. Yeah, you get in an Undead Settlement, like right in front of the boss door for the Curse Rod of Greatwood. It's on a NPC character. There are a lot of NPC hunters, I guess. That's what you call them in this game. I don't really know what to call them. And, because it's not an NPC invader. It doesn't invade like Holy Knight Hydric does. It's just there, walking around amongst regular enemies, named Eccentric Archibald. So it's just a fun little, like, a little, hey, yeah, you played Bloodborne, you know. For those who know, you know. So that allows us to buy bolt paper. And also would have allowed us to buy the Tonitrus if we hadn't already found it. Doesn't really net you anything in here. Or in here. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Pretty sure it just allows you to buy bolt paper and the Tonitrus. Useful for certain areas of the game. The Cosmic Eye Watcher badge, oddly enough, allows you to buy poison knives. Which I was, confused about. It was weird. Anyway. Nope. We need Lumen Flower Gardens. On to part 3. Part 1 was Cainhurst. Part 2 was Dark Beast Pearl. On to part 3. Which would be Daughter of the Cosmos, Ebrietas. We already broke this window. We got the item down there. They do a good job with music design in this game. They do a lot with environmental music that keeps it just away from being like a theremin. Alright. So we need sedatives. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and summon Damien of Mensis. The Altar of Despair. So. He's stuck outside there for a moment. You can actually come here and be fine. This is Ebrietas, or Ebrietas, Daughter of the Cosmos. She is awesome. And she is praying to what looks like a dead Great One. A relative of Kaz. It's got candle, not Kaz, Rom. Got candles all over him, shit. Shit, my thigh, alright. Alright, so she has now entered her second phase, wherein which that becomes a problem. That becomes a big problem. Oh, don't come near me. Whoa. Going on the bun, diddy. And prey slaughtered. Great Eyes Chalice. What we get? A chalice that breaks a labyrinth seal. Great chalices unlock deeper reaches of the chalice. Blah, 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 blah. The Great Eyes Chalice became the cornerstone of the choir, the elite delegation of the Healing Church. It was also the first great chalice brought back to the surface since the time of Bergenworth, and allowed the choir to have audience with Ebrietas. Right. I wish someone would just say her fucking name so I knew how it was pronounced. Ebrietas. Now we can do a thing. Time flows in reverse for this scrap of flesh. So, we just fed the scrap of Queen Annalise that we had into that spider. Seriously, the musical design in this game is fantastic. I mean, music in a From Software game is good. It's like saying, oh, what is it like? It's like saying music in a Castlevania game is really good, huh? It's kind of a duh statement. So this time we're just going to go straight to the Queen Wildblood. The flow of time in Cainhurst Castle is convoluted. And look, she's fine. Alfred died for nothing.
Arrant, vile blood or no, bearer.
Alright. Yeah, I'll bend my knee.
Closest of kin, bearer of our blood, I welcome thee. What is thy wish? We await for the...
Oh, I should. Yeah. You see, she's totally just rocking the Iron Mask here. Just got like weird, like gray skin. This weird slinky off the shoulder number. Her dress, not nearly as nice as the prostitute. She also has like white hair. Which I believe we got an item we didn't look at. Part of the knight set. Yeah, the knight's wig. Which is different if you're a guy versus a girl. If you're a girl, it's this nice little hat. Like we'll look at it. It's this little hat. If you're a guy, it's just a weird like ponytail. So we're gonna read the description of that and see if it's any different. It resembles a ponytail with silver hair. The description doesn't change, even though it very clearly does not resemble a ponytail of silver hair. It's just an adornment. That's all. It's decoration. But yeah, that's it. That's all of the optional shit I wanted to do. Trying to think of what to do next for the next stream. I don't know. All that we have left to do in the base game is finish off the Nightmare of Mensis and then go to the final boss. Like, that's it. I'm missing something. I am not. Did I not get the thing that I wanted? Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, this was from the terrible area. Okay. Yeah, it's a healing bell. Oh, why do I not have that on my wheel? Usually I always keep that on my wheel. It's great. It uses quicksilver bullets in order to heal. It uses 7 quicksilver bullets? It says here it was used 10 originally, and was lowered to 8 in the patch 1.03. Then it was lowered to 7 in 1.04. I guess it uses 7 bullets. Yeah, it heals, and it heals in an area, so you can actually run like a weird, like you can be the healer of your group if you're doing summons and stuff. Yeah, I guess next is going to be the DLC. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess that'll be what we do on the next stream. I'm going to go ahead and see if I got something to level up to just get rid of these damn blood echoes. Frenzied. I can do the kin. Screw it, I'll do the kin. It's not quite enough. I need a frenzied.
Welcome. What is it? Very well, let me.
What we got? Ever closer to 40. Oh, okay. Well, that's it. Let's go ahead and show off this, the only tombstone that's not usable in the main game. The Hunter's Nightmare. It's the tombstone that the doll will just come hang out at. While we're standing here staring at it, you can now buy bolt paper here. You can buy chunks. I have no use for my insight right now, so I'm just gonna spend some right there. God, and I still have 50. Alright, and this lantern brings you straight to the DLC. After we got snatched up and showed it off for the first time. Sorry, I had to stretch there. So let's see, we've come here a good deal later. Let's see what the hunters here are like now. Still not gonna net you anything worth getting. Like, what does it give me? 1,000 blood echoes? It's not that much. Frenzied cold blood. Alright. The very weird thing is that the beasts here are all seemingly afraid of you. Whereas beforehand, they very much wanted a piece. Oh shit, you want to talk about banking Madman's insight? Like, chickadee check it. I still got 48 and 6 Great One's wisdoms. Like, it raises item discovery, insight does, but it also makes you super, it makes you, super susceptible to frenzy. Oh yeah, window shopping. It's a thing in this DLC. A dude just shows up to be like, hey, this is the weapon you'll get. Dude. Like, A, they take an ass ton of damage. B, they don't give you that many blood echoes for how much, you have to put into them. And C, they don't really drop anything. I mean, it's kind of a broken record at this point, but this is one of the bigger problems with Dark Souls DLCs, or From Software DLCs as a whole. Is that you get here and everything is just hard for the, like, it's just super strong. You can usually access it way too early. And nothing really seems to be worth it. Also, there's a button hidden in the grass. Right there. It causes this gun to shoot at you. Fuck that button. Button sucks. Also crazy that, like, it's just like Dobermans. We had the, like, super, like, scraggy dogs in the base game, and then you get to, like, the, Hemwick Charnel Lane, And they got the fucking nightmare dogs with blades in their mouths and shit. And these motherfuckers just got Dobermans up in here. Got much weaker. Yahar. Alright then. Oh, finally got a vermin. Fucking finally got a damn vermin. The freaking first vermin of this playthrough. God damn. Back up and around, get this stupid item. And the beast cutter. Show that up. Passed it up. Wielded by the old hunters, this thick iron cleaver slices through the toughest of beast hides, and when transformed, the blade splits into sections, allowing one to lash it in a fashion of a heavy whip. This crude weapon relies on brute force and is regrettably inelegant, suggesting that the hunts of earliest hunters made horrific affairs painted in sanguine blacks and reds. So let's take a little peek-see at it. So, it's a friggin' sawtooth club. And when you unlock it, you're reminded that Bleach used to be a show and Renji Ibarai was somebody's favorite character. That's it. That's what it do. It's not an elegant weapon, it's just a big-ass saw. It's the upgrade to the threaded cane. Alright, that dude was... Interestingly enough, that dude was an old hunter. I mean, all these guys are old hunters, but he used something that we actually had as our first hint about old hunters. He was using an old hunter's bone. It's what allows that weird, like, flash stepping he was doing. Once again, reminding us that Bleach was a show. Never forget. Bleach was a show, and for those who do or don't, Bleach is back. Like, it's coming back this year. I think this year. We get a little Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, you shit. Old hunter's cap. Ba-da-ba-ba-boom. Starting to get old hunter's garbs. Old hunter's gauntlet. Da-da-ba-da-ba. Yep. Gauntlets made of brass to protect their weapon-bearing hands. At the time, some hunters believed that certain metals would ward off beast blood. On a night of the hunt, it is no wonder that some resort to superstition. And the old hunter cap with a wide brim that hides their sharp gaze. In the old days when hunters were 10 a penny, this was part of their standard garb. And we missed out on this item, so we're going to grab it real quick. The old hunter's trousers. Old hunter's trousers that protected countless hunters from the beasts in an older age. A widespread belief of the period was that, quote-unquote, beast blood crept up the right leg. And this led to the double-wrapped belt. It's also kind of a fun note that this might have some actual credence. Because one of the only old hunters we have access to in the entire game is Yharnam, the old man at the workshop. And if you look at him, he is missing his right leg. I mean, he has a chunk of it, but he doesn't have the foot. He's got a little peg leg. So there might be some credence to the notion that beast blood does creep up the right leg. There we are. Alright, so we heard the call of some hunters up top here. Oh, they're doing a thing. What you boys doing? Oh, you're getting fucking wrecked. Welcome to one of the other enemies that is, much like the Winter Lantern, just never fun to fight. This is the, this is a weird upgrade to not only the squiddy enemies that'll steal your insight, but also the giant axe-wielding enemies that you'll find every so often. Oh, not quite close enough. One more. Shit. Yeah, that buff he did adds a shockwave to his swings that makes it harder to predict how they're gonna react. Molotov cocktail. Just really an enemy type that I never got good at fighting. Alright, there's our first boss of the DLC. What am I banking at? 24, full heals. I'll give him a shot. Win, lose, or draw, I think this is going to be the end of the stream. So we're going to get this eye pendant. Real quick, we should look at what that is. Eye pendant that unlocks the surgery altar. There are 2 cathedrals in the Hunter's Dream. One lies past the River of Blood, and another contains the private research hall of the Healing Church. Only chosen members of the Healing Church or their lamentable patients can enter the research hall using this eye. Grant eyes to the surgery hall. Am I wrong here? Don't feel so I'm wrong though. That's right. I don't think this becomes a boss until much later. Yeah, even swinging on them don't do anything. Okay, well, either way. That is going to end it. Seems like as good a place as any. With that, I will call an end to the stream. It's been fun. I actually did a lot better than I thought I was going to do. That being said, it was fun. We're gonna continue on with the DLC next time. Thanks so much for watching. And if you're watching the VOD on YouTube, hit up a like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date. It really does help out. And like always, man, I appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Check you next time.